Hey everybody, Theta again, another Stone Face Reactions. Coming back for Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, the movie. Before we get into that though, I just thought I'd have a random tangent of thoughts around the series or around the movie before we watch it. Some background stuff, just stuff that occurred to me. I'm literally recording this the day after I finished the show. I I don't know, expose a little bit of the heart here to you. Sometimes when I finish these shows where the characters have such emotional resonance to me, um, I get so depressed at the end knowing that I'm never gonna see them again. I think it hit me the hardest during Stoneface Reaction era here, Witch from Mercury. Oh god, I was just whinging on and on to Griffin after that whole the story's over thing popped up on the screen. And here we are, Nadia, I'd say two-thirds good show. And the characters, especially Marie, but I mean Jean and Nadia too, they stuck with me and were so far beyond. I think what 30th anniversary was last year that we know nothing else is coming. What we have is it. Their story is done. After this movie, there might be a couple other special features. I know there's an audio thing. I'll cover that later, but I'll cover that later in the comments. Not the probably not here. There's nothing to do for an audio here on a YouTube thing. But yeah, I mean, I might just do that thing some people do. I'll hold on to that stuff and just never react to it or watch it because so long as it exists and I haven't seen it, there's something to hold on to. There's something to come back for. Because unless they announce out of the blue 30 years later, coming back for the adventure, Nadia, Secret of Blue Water, season 2, 3, whatever. Yeah, that's it. Oh man, I feel like getting sad already. Let's move on. Let's just move on. My first thought was immediately the thing that occurred to me after I was done recording and I went into editing. The narrator of the show turned out to be Marie. So all my comments about how they refer to the year in the past tense now make sense, as it's 17-year-old Marie retelling the tale of her childhood with Nadia and Jean. I mean, granted, it's one of those how do you know about the parts you weren't there for what, the 3 or 4 episodes before they found her on the island? But yeah, no, I think I was completely correct. The narrator was someone from the future, so every time they say the year was or it was 100 years ago, although, no, actually, now that I think about it, there were those 2 or 3 episodes, the ones that weirdly, if you're watching this in the playlist, the ones that oddly got NHK copyrighted instead of just being blocked in Italy, where she says it was 100 years ago. So maybe Marie time travels out of context of the show. I don't know. I got enough shit to go through today. I don't need to start doing something that I'm gonna have to edit out later. All right, just gonna read my thoughts here, and then we're gonna move on to the movie. Nadia almost destroyed Gynax. A very interesting story of bad production, an attempt to usurp control of the company, bad finances, and South Korean outsourcing. Those episodes I had a problem with. People in the office were evidently screwing around with the storyboards to the point where they would show up to do everything in the day. The storyboards would be missing, and the guy in charge would literally just be like, "Okay, let's just go with whatever you got." And then they outsourced them to South Korean animators hired on the cheap. If you watch our OG Gundam reactions, you'll remember that episode 15 of the original series got outsourced to South Korean animators as well. And they hated it so much that they struck it from all releases going forwards and later made their own movie to replace the episode. So, something I found particularly insightful was that Gainax was hemorrhaging people to the degree that they created another studio of those people that left Gainax. I mean, Gonzo, which I remember particularly fondly for one of my favorite fantasy series based on a game, Tower of Druaga, which I had Shy watch the first two episodes here on the channel, so you can find that if you want. It's literally just me going on about how great the series is, knowing that we're never going to watch it here. Although maybe I'll do that on my own now that I'm doing this kind of thing. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know if you want to watch that with me. I wish you would, but I know that nobody else out there is so diehard like I am for it. Also, welcome to the NHK. A good friend of mine, Norman Rafferty, who's also the game designer for Sanguine Games or Sanguine Studios, whichever rename they went with after makes Iron Claw and those kind of games. They told me about that, and I went and watched that. That was mid 2000s. I think I watched it. That's another great anime series, all about mental health and shit. So, and thirdly, Lion Barrels of Iron is classically my example of a bad mecha show. So, I really hated back in the day how they mixed anime and CGI together, and that was like my first encounter with that. I guess actually no, technically Tower of Druaga does it too, but it doesn't do it in a way that matters. Whatever. What else? Whatever small distaste I might feel for Evangelion, I think I'll give it a pass for the fact that it exists as a spiritual successor to Nadia. Evidently, it was going to be a follow-up to the events of Nadia's End. You know, I'm just gonna read here the IGN article that I was taking it from. Uh, let's see. In its early stages, Evangelion was not a completely original story, but rather a spiritual success sequel to Nadia. Toward the end of the series, Nadia, held captive aboard a Neo-Atlantean ship called the Red Noah, is escorted into a dark room where Gargoyle shows her a giant being in suspended animation. Gargoyle tells Nadia that this giant figure is one of the first human beings the Atlanteans created, referring to it as Adam, the same name as the first angel. When Gargoyle is defeated and the Red Noah is sent hurtling towards Earth, Nemo sacrifices himself to destroy the giant vessel before it can land on the planet. As it explodes, 16 balls of light scatter across the Earth. In Anno's early version of EVA, this event would have been known as the Dead Sea Evaporation Incident. As NHK, which had the rights to the series, refused to go along with the project, Anno had to make extensive revisions so that it would become an all original story as it would air on TV Tokyo. The incident would be known as the Second Impact, and the 16 Davids, as they were first called, would be changed to Angels, with the first one retaining the name of David. Connections between the two series appear in the 1993 audio drama Good Luck Nadia and the second Evangelion video game. Um, the audio drama was the one I was referring to earlier. I might listen to that on my own. Now there's the problem. If there are specials, I might hold off on those so that I always have something to go back to. But I do want to know what the connections are, if they held in connections. I don't know what the second video game is, but I might just look that up too. There's so much stuff. Phil Fisher was on our Discord before, leaking Super Robot Wars X, I think it is, where Nadia, Jean, Gradis, Hanson and Sanson, Marie and King all show up. But my thing about that is that I don't know any of the other characters in that game. And all the other characters in that game are characters from other anime. So I literally just don't know who they are and couldn't give a shit. So I don't feel like watching those shows. Maybe one day I'll do like a Super Robot Wars playthrough where I'll start playing the game, and then when I hit a character I don't know, I'll pause the game, and then just go watch the whole fucking show that they come from, and then come back to the game. It'll be a my whole lifetime playthrough, right? Uh, so yeah, we had a lot of background stuff there. I guess one last thing, I didn't write it down here, but very important to the movie, evidently, is the fact that Dynex tried to make this movie, and then seemingly they failed. Like they just couldn't do it, and the people that they were producing it for, they had to give back their 50 million yen, which put them even deeper in the hole. Like Dynex almost didn't survive. If Eva hadn't become a hit like it was, this company would have went under. There would have been no more. I mean, it's possible. The guy who was the president of the company also ran a video game company and some general products company that was financing Gynax. Possible they wouldn't have just gone under, but it very much seemed like, to the point that just as he was quitting, like he got his pay like cut in half and he's quitting, and he suggests, hey, maybe we shouldn't be an anime company, you know? So it was right there. They were on the edge. Nadia almost killed Gynax. But, you know, it is what it is. We are where we're at. But yeah, that's my thoughts leading into it. I'm gonna probably do like one more video on Nadia, but that one's not gonna have like any media or anything. It's gonna be me reviewing characters, possibly episodes. So if you're here for that, I'll see you there. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get right into the video or in the movie, and let's see what happens in Nadia: The Secret of Blue Water, the movie. Oh, as always, I have my volume turned way too high. 19世紀末、科学技術が発達し、経済が繁栄
they're
する
not
一方で、
gold-plated
アジア、ア
ships
フリカ
anymore.
などの資源と市場をめぐり、イギリス、フランス、ドイツなど列強各国は日増しに対立を深めていた。各地で軍事的な紛争が相次ぎ、
Oh shit, I almost forgot there was another thought I had.
世界戦争の危機が高まりつつあった。
The guy who was president of the company during Nadia's time wrote a book called World Conquest: Is It Even Possible? If you've got an English source for that anywhere, if you translate it yourself, let me know. I want to get a hold of that. It answers questions for Nadia that they had during production that they couldn't answer before they made the show. You getting lasered from orbit? What's happening? No, he's getting raptured. That's one of the Atlantean satellites. That's what it looks like anyway, right? Very much a different... I'm so used to listening to the opening song now that this is throwing me off. Unfortunately, there's no English translation like there was in the openings and the endings. So yeah, I'll explain it now. Before they started producing the original show, the president of the company asks why, or not, he or she, his name just popped up on screen, and I already missed it. One of the people on staff asks,
Why would the Neo-Atlantis want to take over the world if they could just live comfortably with their high technology? And they just go back and forth about the questions, starting from like, well, they'll just take over trade because it's a show about a submarine, and of the time, that would be the thing to do. And they go back and forth, well, wouldn't that make Neo-Atlantis good guys? Because obviously the colonial powers of the time would be the evil. It's like, yeah, well, no, they would be the good guys at the time, but their ultimate goal would make them the ultimate evil. So it's very much a back and forth. So like 10, 15, 20 years later, pictures. Like 20 years later, he writes a book, World Conquest Isn't Even Possible, where he references Neon, Nadia, everything like that, and he answers the questions that he had way back then. And I would love to get my hands on that book. Help me out.
アメリカの外務大臣、ロシアの陸軍大臣に続いて、今度はドイツの提督ときた。大の大人が湯気みたく消えちまった。一体これどういうことだ。さあとはなんだよ、さあとは。それを調べるのが分野の仕事だろうが。はあ。たく、社長もこの件じゃうるさいんだ。あの社長がだぞ。ぬるい。
すみません。
なんだ君か。いいのいいの。
I was worried they were going to be like Jean's aunt. Back to the racism shit.
Nadia の代わりにお茶組にしたろうか。
編集長、私お茶組じゃ記者の見習いです。
じゃあ一つ見習い記者らしい仕事をやってもらおうか。
タバコを買うのが見習いの仕事ですって？失礼しちゃうわ。
No, still treating you poorly. They rebuilt it? Kind of like broke in half. Here's where she met Jean. Oh yeah, that's right. She was working at the circus. Sorry, I feel myself choking up for no reason.
もうそんな暗い顔してないでさ。一度しかない人生だ。パーッと行こうよ。パーッと。人前でイチャつくのもいい加減に惜しい。
Oh man, is this movie gonna be mostly recap?
子供に当たるのは良くないですよ。そうそう、早く本題に入った方が。
I feel like I'm already so depressed about the show being over and never getting more adventures with them that I'm getting set off by just normal shit. I think I'm just an emotionally repressed person, so that's where it comes from. Yeah, it's like they're just showing us the original stuff with a new soundtrack. Oh, it makes sense. You know, if you didn't see the show, but you might want to watch the movie, this is what you do. That's right, those arms are made of paper, basically. We already know that. So he rushes off and gets his plane. technically Jean's the winner of the Paris flying event.
しつこいやつだぜ
Oh, not yet, I guess.
まあいいさ。ブルーウォーターもこっちのもんだからね。じゃあな、アディオー
Is why I reference back to Jean's hypocrisy of it's not a good competition if you know shit that other people don't know and don't tell them about it. And here's Jean with his secrets of flight that he's been working on. Watching people in cars jump off a cliff.
このままドーバーまで飛んでくよ。
おうさらば愛しき花の都よ
Yeah, it was another confusing thing that I found out. Is that Granados is supposed to be Italian? But all throughout the early episodes... Ah, there's the theme song. The early episodes, they're always calling her Senorita. I could have sworn that was Spanish.
Nadia, 大丈夫？でも取れないの。ちょっと待って。お、はみ出てきた。
Look at the moment, the theme song is just gonna fucking do it for me.
こいつ
ありがとう。
This has been the most threatening Sanson is ever going to be.
数々の冒険、悲しいこと、辛いことを共に過ごしたジャン・ロック・ラルティーグとの出会いだった。
You shouldn't have been a reporter, Nadia. You should have turned into a writer. You have a fucking amazing story to share. Hell, you could ghostwrite yourself.
子供たちだったね。
That way people don't come after you.
アーメン。
That's how you knew they weren't bad guys.
ナディ
They weren't actually trying to kill them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be like, oh man, those kids are
ア、
dead.
飛行機はあそこよ。また壊れちゃったね。あれ、キングはいないの。どこにも。そうか。じゃあすぐ探しに。うん。とその
I
前に
hope the recap does not go over the Island Arc era.
起こ
We
して
can
くれる
do
と
without
いいんだけど
seeing that again.
じゃん。大丈夫。貸しただけだよ。
I heard they did a recut of the show, down to 6 hours. The Nautilus cut or something like that,
いるのは分かっているお前たちは
where they got rid of all of the shit that I complained about,
正しく手を挙げて出てこい
ちくしょう。
which I think is vindication that I feel that I'm right, that a lot of other people agree with me.
どこかに繋がってるみたいだ。じゃあ、
But you know, when watching a show, you have to experience all of it.
あの穴の中に。
The good stuff and the bad stuff, otherwise you won't know what the good stuff is.
いいな一つ
僕が出る。その間に君が。あいつらが私を探してる。わかった。でもきっと助けに行くから。
Oh yes, okay. So the Nautilus cut, if it's 6 hours,
待ってる。
the show is about 13 hours.
ナディア。
So they cut about 7 hours. Sorry, 8. Wait, no? 7?
左舷から接近中
That'd be hard on the fly. Oh, good. Yeah, they just jumped well ahead.
バリアかその通りだ前回の接続カーブ正常出力 3.2% へ上昇目標ノースを遅く
See, it does look like that's the Atlantean satellite, or one of them.
無茶だ
The very beginning with the black sphere on top of it, though.
そして
I
持
don't
ち
see
出すと
anything.
急速先行急げ
発射10秒前
And that's where I thought Gargoyle might have accidentally nuked himself. But all the while here, he's jumping on a hot air balloon or whatever. He's escaping. Oh, time to perv out. Because that's when Samson is perving out on Granatus at the same time.
あの
See?
そう、お前
That's not Hanson. That was bad subtitles. That's Sanson. Hanson is the short, chubby guy. That's Hanson.
全艦対爆防御
じゃん返事をしてじゃん
グラタン接触穴から抜けましたエンジン全開垂直上昇
This is a hell of a way to fill in time in your movie.
初段命中移動第二戦車撃って撃ちまくれ
Well, we know that guy survived. Last I remember, he was limping away with his boat sinking.
海の怪物め発砲を確認第二波来ますあと50秒全艦対爆防御
全走行シャッターを閉鎖
急速先行
ダメです先行装置作動しません
来ます
What a weird relationship that turned out to be. Electra and Nemo. I think of you just like my daughter. And at the end, she has his kid?
終戦団に直撃1番から32番までの圧搾空気を全て捨てろ
しかしそれでは艦の浮力が
カモン気象弁を全部開け了解やったー撃て撃て撃て
I don't think our translator here knew what the difference between a I, an L, and an exclamation mark. Oh, Jesus, this... Oh, they didn't even show him giving his calm I'm going to die moment.
ヘイトさん
That was his freak out, actually human moment.
こんなものがあるから
Just to give you a reference where we're at in the recording schedule, that's the episode that just came out today on YouTube.
そんなにノーチラス号が大切なのそんなにブルーウォーターが大切なの
そうだ全てを捨ててもブルーウォーターは守らなければならない
Before she knew that he was her dad.
その意志を受け継ぐ者の定めなのだ
Super confusing undersea giant. Only explained on like the last 2 episodes.
汝は冒険者か危険という名の滝をくぐり抜けその奥に伝説の正体を求めるものか
I think the most disappointing
あれを
thing
求めよ
is that his giant blue water gem
ブラーブルに帰り
has a tiny little her-sized gem cut in it. And you understand where that comes from. But they never just put them together.
好きだからさノーチラス号のみんながそう 大好きだからだよ。
Here we are in Atlantis, the ruins of Atlantis, the graveyard of Atlantis.
みんなのところへさ。
I believe this is the episode Gene's mistake. Gene makes a mistake.
ほらナディア、飛んだよ。本当、発明の天才ね。
本当、大した少年だな。あいつはもう一人前さ。ああ、やったな、じゃん。
I love that Hanson's story is all about him trying to find love with Electra during this part. 1, never does. 2, just gets rich.
中に入ってみようか。何も見えない。大丈夫だよ。ねえナディア。何？やっとわかったよ。何が？今までの僕とこれからの僕さ。僕は
So many Gurren Lagann type of moments here
科学だけじゃない。
that
世の中や
I feel vindicated for having pointed out, oh, this feels like Gurren Lagann, when it's the company that makes Gunbuster, Diebuster, and Gurren Lagann.
君を守ることのできる大人になったら必ず連れてってあげるからね。
Diebuster and Gunbuster, shows I haven't seen yet. Might watch.
その時の言葉が私には。
Why isn't any of Gene's stuff in your room? Why are you not living together? Confusingly, their second kiss. Which, if they play it through, she's about to get mad about, because he doesn't remember.
実は僕初めてだったんだ。え？女の子としたりするの。ナディアは初めて。どうして？どうしてってどうなのかなって。二度目よ。最初
He was tripping on mushrooms, so he don't remember.
アディアのそばに。それじゃサンソンと違うわよ。まさかハンソンじゃ。
See, this is the confusing bits of the island arcs.
何言ってるの？
Because they have situations like this in them that you think, oh, this should happen in a real episode. But unfortunately, you have to go through 15 minutes of nonsense to get to the 5 minutes that it all mattered in. Best character in the show. Also, they totally skipped finding Marie, which now makes me afraid that Marie isn't going to have an important role in the show. Oh wow, we did just skip across the entire thing. This is Red Noah, by the way. Which is right there at the very end of the island arcs. I would say brings us right back to the important shit, but literally the episode right after this pisses everybody off.
ブルーウォーターが行くべき道を指し示すでしょう。それに従いなさい。しかし
She literally leaves this room naked. Jean brings her clothes. They hold each other, and it's like confirmation of their affections for one another. And the very next episode, she falls in love with this guy in Africa, forgets about Jean completely.
やっぱり じき沈んじゃうよ。
See? That was beautiful. I hope you like 3 episodes of Nadia pining over some guy she literally just met, forgetting about Jean, and Jean going into a depression. Because Nadia is being treated as a cartoon character, and Jean's being treated as a character who's been in the show this whole time.
火の竜と南面ウゴンデの月日は15回目の復活。今日このめでたき日、
Nadia discovering when her birthday is. She didn't know it
百
before.
の喜び、千の幸せ、万の慈愛を願いて、ここにその生命行動を収めんとす。我が娘ナディア？
これは
私が生まれた時の。
So now she knows where she was born and when she was born. She has a birthday and a birthplace now.
西暦で言うと1875年5月31日。
That's today. You turned 15 today.
それってもしかして今日のことじゃねえか？じゃあ今日は
ひょっとするってナディアの誕生日だ。誕生日？
その通りです。
Oh, fuck that guy.
すごいよナディア。ねえったら。
Ayrton. I hate fucking Ayrton. He's an annoying ass character.
君の生まれた日が。私が生まれた日？うん。おめでとう、ナディア。
You know, I didn't put it together during the show,
ありがとう。
but Atlantean writing is basically looks like Egyptian.
おめでとうナディア。
So every time I mocked Emperor Neo for looking like he was an Egyptian,
ハッピーバースデートゥーユー。じゃあみんなありがとう。
it's such a simple thing. But you know it means so much to her, so... Like I said, I can't really cry, so I'm just gonna have a fucking migraine off the rest of the day as the inside of my head rejects any outward sensation of emotion. That's why we're called stone-faced reactions. Griffin laughs at everything happy or sad, and I can't do anything.
ブルーウォーターをおとなしく渡します。
約束しよう。
心配いらないわマリー。私には世界を滅ぼせる力があるのよ。あんな人たちには負けないわ。でも大丈夫よ。ジャンが必ず助けに来てくれるから。すぐに帰ってくるからおとなしくなって。
Yeah, she basically sacrificed. Ah, Marie, such a fucking cute character. For me, she's the cutest kid in anime. I'm sure 90% of my regret is on the level of not getting to watch Marie grow up or something like that. You know, the irony is, never want kids of my own, though. So this is effectively like trying to watch a friend's kid grow up. Farewell, Nautilus.
艦首上艦版第一装甲版剥離主電端室損傷。
船長、このままでは。
全艦発射当選だ。
See, if it, I hate that fucking magnet. That magnet so belongs in a cartoon. By the way, we've been watching this movie for almost a half an hour now. And I think there's been 3 minutes of new content. Barely at this point. even have to watch the Nautilus cut of the movie. I mean, of the show. She insists that she can talk to some animals.
おかしいな。計算は完璧。
That's how it goes, Gene. That's how it goes. So this must be before the end of the show, or it's been 12 years later, because they should be married and be having a kid.
大丈夫かい？君。
But they're clearly not living together at all.
お父さん。
How sad is that, by the way?
気がついたかい？
Gene as a parrot just to
海
repeat
に
to
落
him, I
ちたん
love
だよ
you.
君。覚えてる？僕はジャンロック・ラルティーグ発明家なんだ。自転車の修理もしてっけど。君は？
Why did you take my clothes
ス
off?
ープだよ。温まるから。
I mean, I understand, you know, get her out of the way clothes, but
君、うちはどこ？お父さんやお母さんは？僕はここで一人暮らしなんだ。ちょっと先におじさんとおばさんがいるけどね。君、大丈夫？うるさいやつだな。少しはおとなしくしてろ。
okay, so the bird's not telling him I love you. It's repeating him telling Nadia I love you.
助けてくれた。まあね。
Oh, seriously, put some clothes on her.
君、名前は？
編集長。なんだと？首相が消えただと？はい、アルバートホールでつい今しがた。やった！特ダネだ。行くぞ。
I don't think you can describe these people as disappeared.
おっとっとっとっとっと。君はお留守番。しっかりね。
はい、もしもし。もしもし。
編集長だぜ。
編集長は外出中です。失礼ですが、どなたですか？
本当にいないのか？情報があるって言ってやれ。人間蒸発の。
人間蒸発？
そうだ、特ダネだろ。
私でよかったらお伺いしますけど。
お前はなんだ？
記者です。
記者？15、6の小娘みたいに聞こえるぜ。
情報って
Yeah,
何
to be
ですか？
fair.
来やがった。
もしもし。
7時にホワイトチャペルのパブエンジェル&クラウンだ。
俺は暗い。じゃあな。
もしもし。
See, they're not being overtly racist about it, which makes me think maybe they're just being misogynistic about it, which I don't, you know, not better, but no one's being like Jean's aunt about it.
平和の女だな。
あなたがフライね。情報って何？
ち、やっぱりガキじゃねえか。
失礼ね。私れっきとした新聞記者になる予定です。
お、いけねえ。
What the fuck is up with this getup?
ついてくるな。
情報って何なのよ。
ネタは命がけだ。安かないぜ。金出せんのか。
そりゃなんとか。本物の特ダネみたいね。
I feel like we got outsourced again. I shared with you the backstory about how they failed to do the movie and had to pay the money back.
あの人たちは誰？
うちに帰んな。
I don't actually know who they got to do the movie after that. Atlantean face thing. What?
あれはあなた一体
肩を打っただけだ。当たり前の自由でな。
でも
当たり前じゃねえのは奴の方
Well, the Atlanteans could make people.
くだらねえ。あれ
Did
で
somebody
世界征服だ
find,
世界征服まさかガーゴイルの
no, Gargoyle
おい
is...
ガーゴイルを知ってる。プリンセス
Gargoyle is a pillar of
プ
sand.
リンセスなんかじゃないわ。ガーゴイルは生きてるの？
奴は死んだ。もっと狂ったやつが。俺はガーゴイルの失敗で目が覚めた。いつ成功するかわからない世界征服より目先の金さ。
Answering the question of the book.
喋っちゃダメ。すぐお医者さんを。
こいつを頼む。
これは
ブライ君。ようやくお会いできました。あの娘はど
At
う
least
で
you're
した
not wearing the KKK head
お前ら
hoods.
が船を沈めて殺したくせに。しかしお前は生きているからな。ところでその女は関係ない。逃げろ。
Is Fry gonna be her dad or her husband? Now she's asking for her father, but it very much seems like they're the same age. Sorry, not Nadia, the girl with the red hair. What a crazy soundtrack. I mean, I love it, I just don't know that it fits the show. Remember, Nadia is a former circus performer. That's why she's trained up to be able to do this. That dude just made an amazing jump out of nowhere. I don't feel bad for him. He probably just turned into dust like the other guy. Send it to Jean.
じゃあお願い。
That was a late-ass shot. So, I don't know. I'm gonna make a guess now. It feels like somebody just found the Atlantean technology and is using it. We know there's no other Atlanteans left except for Nadia.
ナディアって言うんだ。可愛いだろ？あ、それは僕の両親。二人とも死んじゃったけどね。
And perhaps the half-Atlantean that,
本当に何も覚えてないの？
sorry, the half-Atlantean that Electra's having. Sorry, it looks like one of those people could have,
大丈夫か？
been the creator of Astro Boy.
ファジ。え？ファジ。それ君の名前かい？じゃん。ファジは死んだの？え？気を失ったのさ。大丈夫、君は生きてるよ。とにかく休もう。
Who is Fuzzy? So why didn't Nadia have King? I didn't even think about that. Where's
生命エネ
King?
ルギーの発見。アルベルト・ウーラー著。アルベルト・ウーラー博士はこの度無機物からアメーバー状の細胞合成に成功したと学会で発表。事実とすれば神に近づく一大偉業となる。博士の話によると、その細胞は宇宙に広範に存在する生命エネルギーを源に活動している。そのエネルギーとは動物磁気とかエントロピーなどと呼ばれたものに近く、重力や光の媒体となって宇宙
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. When I thought there was going to be an enemy in the movie,
彼はこの学説により
I was leaning on the fact that there are aliens out there
ついに学会を追放されてしまった。
who could have sent another ship.
僕も長いこと科学部の記者やってきて、いろいろとおかしな学者を見てきたけ
Not just another human, but I guess it's
自分で実験続けてさ、病気がちの奥さん働かせて、
I guess that's just a grounding thing. Make the show more about people, not people.
学会を追われてからさ。
で、 今どうした
fit the
の？
message of the show, rather.
そう話題にならなくなったら追わないのはうちも一緒でね。で博士がどうかしたの？
いえ、ちょっと。
あ、そうそう、娘さんが一人いたな。
娘？
うん、名前はあ、ファジ
That that didn't sound like he said that.
マジ？
Sounded like somebody else's
もう
voice.
だいぶ良くなったみたいだね。ああ、久しぶりに綺麗な夕日だな。じゃあ、なんだい？
I'll say this:
私にも
if I was to score this movie,
ってあるのかな。
if Sanson, Hansen, Grenadis, and Marie don't fucking show up at some point,
手助けするよ。
losing half points already. Sorry, I didn't mean to bump the mic.
マジ？
It's also a heavy question. Are we going to lose a quarter of the points if we don't get Marie, just alone?
で、これとそのなんとか博士がどう蒸発事件に絡んでるわけ？
ですからそれは博士の研究をもとに多分。
ナディア君、君にはもっと重要な仕事をしてもらおう。
You know, I feel like
お茶を入れてもらおう。熱いやつをな。
編集長。
何事かね。社長。
for some reason Nadia here is reminding me a hell of a lot of what's her name from Vash the Stampede.
君。
グラント君、この件で情報が入ったらすぐに私に報告するようにと言ってあるはずだが。
ですが社長、こんな女の子の。
バカバラン！ネタというものはどこにでもある。それをいちいち当たるのが分野の務めだ。もうよい、このネタは私が直接当たることにしよう。はあ、ナディア君、一緒に。
Are they like the most important newspaper in France or something? I feel like I'm getting the gist from the big guy there that he might be connected to the evil.
顔に似合わず怒ると怖いからね。
But like, why would he be like a random guy connected?
さあ、入りたまえ。
失礼します。
ああ、ドア閉めて。
はい。
Yeah, I expected that.
社長。
She was happy to just be recognized and tranquilizer. Give me tranquilizer. You don't shoot fucking Nadia in the Nadia movie. What the fuck? Sorry, I've got to stick a red thing in my ear. I'm from Farscape, if you remember that.
ここは。このマークは。
Yeah, you're on an Atlantean ship of some sort. Maybe one of the subs survived?
これは元プリンセス。こんな形で正当な王位継承者とお会いできようとは思いませんでしたよ。
あなた、ガーゴイルの残党ね。
ガーゴイルだと。私の名はギーガー。
Dagger counter.
あんな超科学力に溺れた負け犬と一緒にしないでもらいたい。世界を統治するにはもっと頭を使わねばな。
I mean, Gargoyle almost fucking did it. What have you done?
教えてやる。間もなく世界戦争が勃発するのだ。
なんですって？
そうなれば我々が直接手を下さずとも世界の主要都市は破壊され各国家機関は麻痺状態となる。さらに肥大しきった世界人口の約5分の2は
I'm
失われ
assuming this is World War One.
その混乱の時に私が救世主として世界を統一するのだ。
世界戦争をするほど人間は愚かではないわ。
それが起こるんだよ。世界の要人をこの人造人間どもとすり替えることによってな。
Oh, okay.
本物の社長はどうしたの？
Maybe that's why they turned into dust.
さあね。さて、それより一つお伺いしたい。あの裏切り者フライから受け取った書類の残りはどうしましたかな？
ハゲちゃったわ。テームズ川のお魚たち。
なんだって。
ギーガー様、その女の部屋に書類は見当たりませんでしたが、こんなものが。
フランス。
And that's how we get Jean in on this.
すでに手は回してあります。例のパリの一味に。
パジー捜索を依頼した私立探偵か。信用できるのか。
あ、目的のためなら人殺しも。
So I think my thing here is that I know that we're clearly not at the point where she's having a kid,
帰った。
right? So I think everybody in we know in the future is safe. What the fuck?
じゃん。クランディさん、酸素、酸素。
Detectives?
一体何の真似だよ。それはこっちが聞きたいね。大富豪の娘をかどわかし、重要書類を盗むなんざ、ずいぶん悪党になったもんだね。このこと。
Not how I wanted them to show up.
さっさと書類を出し。書類ってなんだよ。知らないよ。そうか、白を切るんなら仕方ないね。さん、やっとおしまい。
Do you guys not care about the journey that you've been on?
姉さん、ありませんぜ。
仕方ないね。さん、
Do you not
とりあえず。
do you not remember the whole jewels don't matter that much conversation? Hanson, you should be inventing shit. What are you doing? I don't expect to see the Graton. The Graton got fucking destroyed, so... Of course they didn't check the mailbox when they fucking did all this.
中央制御装置の操作マニュアル。ああ、ロンドンのナディアからさ。しかしこれは。
What was Fuzzy repeating herself, and that's what that got picked up?
そろそろ時間です。姉さ
ん。よかったね。もうすぐパパとママのところに帰れるよ。
なんでジャンばっかりがモテんでしょうね。
モテねえのはおめえだけさ。
So I don't dispute that they might think that they're doing a good thing.
ご苦労だったな。
I dispute the fact that they would think Jean had done such a bad thing.
書類の方はどうした？
例のガキの家にはなかったから、とりあえず娘だけ連れてきたよ。
そうか。おい。
We gonna get a Sanson fight? There we go.
よかろう。ただしそいつに勝てれば。なんだと？俺様と力比べた。
Sanson takes on machines, man. Not unless you cut your hair. So now not only have they mischaracterized Sanson, they've made him weaker than he was before. What the fuck, dude? I mean, it does explain why they're so acrobatic, or more acrobatic than Nadia. That doesn't even look like a garfish. What are you talking about? Well, I guess it does. It's just a yellow and black version instead of a red and black version. We're reusing the idea of the Gutan's tentacle arms. Just on a sub now. Kind of like the weird juxtaposition now that we have is that the Atlanteans created humans, and then other Atlanteans created humanoid robots. So instead of having Atlanteans made humans, humans made robots, the Atlanteans just fucking did everything. I guess the fact that they didn't show any of the character growth from Granatus, Sanson, and Hanson in the recaps. Maybe they're just not treating it as it happened.
単語単語島まで約6時間ほどで到着します。
よし。
人造人間？そう。ギガーは列強各国の首相とか将軍とか資本家なんかを
Yes, this is basically the plot of Wonder Woman 84, really, if you think about it.
じゃあ、今の世界の指導者たちはみんな人造人間。多分。今世界中を騒がしている蒸発事件はきっと不完全な人造人間が何かのはず
Oh, that's disappointing. I thought there was like a rape technology thing.
アトランティスの科学力を使えばそのくらいのことは。ナディア、アトランティスの遺産を奴らが使ったってもうナディアには関係ないよ。じゃなんだ寝言か。いろんなことが続いてるからな。
Well, probably because she has the same backstory. Literally, seems like the same backstory.
そんなんじゃないわ。でも、なぜギーガーはファジを襲ったんだろう。ファジ？
フライ君、あの娘はどうしました？
名前はファジ。
思い出したわ。ウーラー博士には娘が一人いたのよ。その娘の名前がファジ。じゃあこの子は。そうか。
See, I appreciate that she gets jealous, especially when we had that whole episode skipped in the backstory about her falling in love with somebody else.
ただその成果は利用させてもらっているがな。
お前がギーガーか。世界戦争なんか起こさせてそんなに嬉しいか。
私は弱い人間が死ぬのを見るのが大好き。戦争ほど素敵なショーはない。狂っているのは今の世界の方ではないかな。放っておいてもいずれ戦争は
He's gotta be a human, right?
人類には私のようなリーダーが必要なんだ。
He's referring to people like they're not, but I mean, think about it. Gargoyle thought he wasn't human too. You don't need to walk the plank when you're on a sub. Literally just put him on the top of the ship and then submerge.
書類はパリの国防総省へ送ったよ。今頃はあんたの島に艦隊を送る命令が出てるさ。
愚かな。
直ちに全艦隊に命令を発します。開戦の午前0時まであと14時間。よろしく頼みますぞ。はっ。
One of your robots. Literally, that was the whole ploy, wasn't it? Yep. Have to stick a red thing in my ear.
書類は無事国防大臣が。フランス海軍の出動体制も整ったとのことです。
残念でしたね、ジャン君。ではそろそろ海水浴でも楽しんでいただきましょうか。
そんな約束が違うわ。
プリンセス、私は何も約束などしてませんよ。やれ!
Yeah, I literally don't remember that conversation. machine is not this athletic.
なんだあれは。この船が
He's an Omega nerd. That's what we know about him.
武装はしていないようです。あれは
I guess Hansen's still been inventing then.
うちだ激戦だよ。
ジャンが乗ってんのに。
Now you care about him?
さあ、あなた方も中へ入ってもらいましょうか。
I think we need to shoot them once, did we? In the original.
早くその娘を中に入れるんだ。
It's also clearly it's not a garfish. The garfish would not be concerned about getting shot by an artillery shell. He literally just bounced off this all.
状況は損害全くありません。反撃しなくてよろしいのですか。作戦の前だ。ザクはほっとけ。
He had two different colored eyes. You think this is just an extension of Emperor Neo?
じゃあ無事だったんだね。よく言うよ。固いこと一個なしだよ。ナディア、ナディアじゃないか。ランデスさん、久しぶりだね。元気だったかい？こんなに濡れちまって。とりあえず私の貸してやるよ。
単語単語島っていうのはこの辺りにあるって言われてる。
言われてる？
伝説さ。この辺りは遭難の名所でね、ちゃんと確認されたことはないんだ。
とにかく急ごう。ファジが心配だ。ちょっと待ちなよ。
That he always goes back to wearing one type of clothing. She barely grew up. Now she's back again.
ギガは世界戦争を起こそうとしているのよ。私の知ったことじゃないよ。
ちょっと姉さん、ナディアの話が本当なら島にはすり替えられた政治家や資本家の本物がいるはずですぜ。
殺されてんじゃないかい？
偽物の人造人間に本人の情報を伝えなきゃならないから生かしておいてるはずですよ。
そいつらを助ければ礼金はたっぷり。
Back to the money thing, huh?
分かったよ。その島とやらへ行こうじゃないか。よかった。でもどうやって？
I mean, we know Hansen goes on to be the richest man on Earth. So, why are we still in this age of caring?
状況は
すべて順調です。
Who the hell are you? They're dressed differently from everyone else.
我々の人造人間を送っていないジャポンとかいう小国もヨーロッパに便乗して軍を動かそうとしています。
愚かなるかな人間たちを。さて、君とはもうお別れだ。
ギガ様。
少々失敗を重ねすぎたようだから責任を取ってもらうぞ。
お許しを。
役に立たない人間どもには死あるの。
ああ、ダメじゃ。誰じゃ。ファジ氏。何しに戻った。
お父さん。
あのフライメが連れてったんでせいせいしとったのに邪魔だ。出て行け。二度とここへ顔を出すんじゃない。
Well, this is not the expected response.
親子喧嘩ですかな。
ギガ。
I was really upset because he found a way to get her out, and then she came back.
娘を連れ戻してやったのにその言い方は悲しいですな。そりゃそうと浦博士、そろそろ完璧な人造人間を完成させていただきたいですな。あなたの道楽のためにこのアトランティスの科学力を貸してるわけではありませんぞ。
生き物を作り出すのはそんなに簡単なことではない。すべての生命体は宇宙にあまねく存在する生命エネルギーを呼吸して生きておる。 意志のない人
Arguable.
造人間はそれをどれだけ取り入れ排出すべきか判断できず、オーバーロードを起こして蒸発してしまうのだ。お前さんの欲しがっているただ言いなりに動くだけの人造人間なんぞ、存在自体が矛盾しておる。生物には生きていく目的、生きる意志が必要なのだ。
Again, the Atlanteans like created all the human race. If you have the Atlantean tech, why don't you have that?
科学の発展のため、出来のいいあんたの娘は解剖して調べさせてもらいましょう。
勝手にせい。あれは娘ではない。わしのファジーは死んだ。
Oh, that's what she said. Fuzzy is dead. So she like the first one that worked out, and then just doesn't like it for some reason. I said this is the looks like the guy who made Astro Boy, and it's fucking an Astro Boy storyline. They are playing it right to the chest.
誕生日にはいつも歌ってくれたじゃないか。さあ、あの歌を歌っておくれ。お前はわしの娘なんかじゃない。さあ行こう。あんたが自由に暮らせるところへ連れて行ってやる。
でもお父さんが。
あいつはお前を憎んで
And I've never really watched Astro Boy. I just know the basic concept of that. So this is gonna play out amazing when we start watching Pluto next month. Can't be a Nadia experience without some sort of weird psychedelic trip. Oh, you two are still goofy as ever.
ねえ、寒くないの？そんなんでさ、これ着るといいよ。じゃん。なんだいナディア。私ずっとジャンのこと頼ってた。ガーゴイルの時もジャンが必ず助けに来てくれるって。でもそれじゃいけないって。ジャンにばかり負担をかけちゃいけないって、そう思ったの。
So you moved to France. Oh, sorry, opposite way. Reverse.
やっぱりうまくいかなかった。やっぱりジャンがいないとダメなのかな。ナディア。ジャン、ファジーのことどう思ってるの？どうって、ただあの子のことを見てると。
Actually, never words things correctly.
なんだかお話に出てくる妖精みたいで、目を離したら消えてしまいそうで、なんとかしてあげなくっちゃって、そう思うだけで。そういうの恋っていうの？え？違うよ。
I think so.
僕にとっては妹みたいな、そんな感じなんだよ。でもファジーは妹だなんて思ってない、きっと。
I don't know, it's not how, so you don't describe somebody that way and say little sister.
ずるいと思うの。じゃあどうすればいいんだよ。優しくしなければいいっていうの？そうじゃなくて、なんていうか。じゃあナディアはどうなんだい？僕のこと信じてないのかい？信じて。でも2年も会ってなかったから。ナディア。
You've apparently been writing back and forth this whole time.
そうだよね。ジャンは誰にでも優しいんだよね。それを分かっていながら、私ってほんとダメね。ナディア。なんでせっかくいいとこだったのに。
すいません姉さん、二人に見とれてて嫌いに気づきませんでした。
このすとこどこい。
It's funny. I appreciate it because they're just fucking like us.
昼間のやつだ、撃沈しろ。
は。ガンディさん。後ろにボートがある。先に島に行ってな。そんな。みんな一緒に。
ここは俺たちが何とかするから、ナディアと二人で行ってこい。
早くしろ。分かった。あとは頼む。
Take care. If you had some letters in there. Translator. We know they're fine. They're alive in the future.
あれがギーガーの単語単語と
状況を報告せよ。
ロシアバルチック艦隊無事南下を始めました。オーストリア・ハンガリー軍セルビア国境に集結完了。イタリア首相より報告。疾病に反対していた陸軍大臣を逮捕。陸軍はすでに移動を開始。ベルギードイツ国境で発砲事件発生。
I guess the thing that doesn't make sense about this plan is that you've literally got control of every country in the world, and you're sending their armies against one another for what? You could just have control of the world. You don't even need the war at this point.
あのパイプのお化けみたいなもの以外には建物らしきものはここからじゃ見当たらない。地下に秘密基地があるんだ。
Not a proto Tower of Babel, is it?
随分高い塔だな。とにかく調べてみましょう。ナディア。
Probably just a really tall command or transmission tower so they can.
なんだ？人間？きっと人造人間よ。だとしたら見つかっちゃったってことじゃないか。でも。
I mean, it was the ruins of Atlantean writing.
来るなら来い。なんだ？あの二人は戦う気はなさそうね。
They're either like native islanders or failed experiments like leading up to Fuzzy. There's some weird.
手っ取り早く潜入しちゃったわね。
Sure, just like the original island that you two snuck into, where he almost fell into lava. Gonna land on him? Of course.
収まったようです。姉さん。
そろそろ行きますか。水中モード。
それじゃ霊金の島へ出航。
ガッテン。
Okay, so this is just the Graton 2 boat version. Smoke grenade that I just got from nowhere.
なんだこりゃ。きっとさっきのパイプの基部だよ。これを壊せば。やばい、逃げろ。
It did kind of look like the Tower of Babel thing.
パジーとウラ博士を助けなきゃ。
But there's no blue water left anymore, so it doesn't really matter either, does it?
こっちだ。これじゃパジーを探すところじゃないよ。とにかくどっかに隠れなきゃ。 これは。
Okay, so I was right.
この化け物は。
Those are just the failed experiments up top.
あなたはウーラ博士。
いかにもわしがウーラーじゃ。お前らは
I just stand here silently all day.
助けに来ました。パジーを連れて早く脱出しましょう。
娘だと？
そうです。パジーじゃん。よかった。無事だったんだね。早くお父さんとここ脱出しましょう。
お前というやつは証拠にもなくまだ娘などと言っとるのか。
やめろ。何するんだよ。殺す気か。自分の娘だろ。パジー大丈夫
Let me guess, it was his first creation?
違う。
Was to bring back his dead daughter?
わしの娘は、わしのファジーは死んだ。
Hit by a car?
そいつ
What
は
are we gonna go with?
複製品。ただの人造人間だ。
人造人間。まさか。ファジー。
下手です。
何？
ギガ司令、アメリカ国防長官との連絡が途絶えました。おそらく蒸発したものと思われます。
貴様、制御を怠ったな。
私はギガ司令。
As though I prove that I'm the bad guy by killing my own men.
ウラ博士のところだ。開戦の前にけじめをつけておかんとな。
博士、ギーガーはあなたの人造人間を使って世界戦争を起こそうとしているのよ。
今のように歪み切った人類などどうなろうと知ったことではない。
でも戦争になれば
I guess it's sort of a twist
関係ないだ
to have other humans having the ideals of.
世間の奴らはそれを見て
Never mind, I already forgot that Gargoyle was a human.
あの年ホワイトチャペルの酒場に働きに出て、その帰りに
Oh, she got Jack the Ripper.
後を追うように。お前はいくらお前がそうやって娘の真似をしても、娘のファジーは生き返らん。
I mean, you made her, you asshole.
これは皆さんお揃いのようですな。
ちょうどいいところへ来た。研究の邪魔だからこいつらを連れて出てってくれ。
博士、君はもう研究はしなくていいよ。あなたの作った不完全な人造人間にはもううんざりだ。
Keep dissolving every time we need them.
から博士には消えてもらうよ。部下の手前もあるしね。
貴様。
まずは博士から死んでもらおう。
Fuzzy's gonna sacrifice herself to save him. Yeah.
バカなやつだ。自分から当たりに行くとはな。こちら待て。何をしてる。
Because that's just a chemical we keep around.
さあこっちじゃ。
Oh, okay, just a shoulder.
ファジー。
お父さ
ん。なんということだ。わしのために。
I feel like I'd have more emotional attachment to this had I seen Astro Boy.
わしは人類を憎んでおった。自滅への道を歩んでいる人類には。
Because I think the only emotion I have right now is for the father, who I understand the trauma of his scenario, but has been such an asshole so far, I just kind of don't care about him. Well, this didn't age well at all. This didn't age well 50 years or 100. Oh, this didn't age well 30 years after the show was made.
世界の未来は君たち若い者にかかっておる。早死にはいかん。
お父さん。
娘に教えられるとは、わしも年を取ったもんじゃな。
お父さん。
The slump and those last words. It all equals out. Also, I'm now heavily reminded of Kingsman. Did Kingsman get the idea from this? What the fuck? That makes sense. That makes sense to Sanson's backstory. And it makes sense to Sanson.
これより計画の最終段階に入る。その前に侵入者は片付いたか？
は、それがまだ。
Just don't answer the man. Seems very obvious. When you've got a villain leader who shoots his own minions, just don't say anything or lie. Yeah, we captured them. They're good. Maybe it's the bathroom. Yeah.
エネルギー吸収率 90%。
よし、人造人間どもに補充しろ。
待てギガ。貴様動くな。全員吹っ飛ぶぞ。
己正気か。
あんたと違ってな。
Okay, so random robot that looks different from everyone else. In the end, didn't matter. That was also the same explosion thing the Genesis device in Star Trek used.
お父さん
じゃあここにいたのか。
ハンターグランディさんと酸素は
フランス国防長官、ロシアの艦隊司令官、皆さんお揃いのようですが、連れてきますか一応。
脳みそだけ連れてってどうすんだよ。
Yeah. So it is kind of like Emperor Neo.
もっとスピード出ないの。
Except Emperor Neo had his brain in his head. These were being remote controlled. A Graton too, some might say. I was waiting for Geiger to be a robot too somehow. I don't know. Kind of expected it. Your voice just changed? What bad timing is that? I was trying to think. The G.I. Joe guy that replaces Cobra Commander might have a thing to say about that.
損ねちゃいましたね。
どうして私たちはこう運が悪いのかね。
いいじゃないですか、
Your catchphrase has always been lucky.
人類の運命は残された者たちが握るか。ファジー、寝てなきゃダメじゃないか。
じゃん、島が見たい。
Oh, she's about to die, isn't she? Her brain was probably in there somewhere, wasn't it?
じゃん。ファジー。
ファジーは完璧な人造人間のはずじゃ。
ファジー、しっかり。
And it's classic how it goes.
ナディア、いろいろありがとう。いつまでもジャンのこと信じてあげてね。
Damn right she will.
姉ちゃん、
なんでファジー。
私、ちゃんとした人間に生まれ変われるかな。
もう立派な人間さ。
In the future, we will call you Asuna.
ありがとう。
100 years from now. There's some characters that works for her and some that doesn't. Like that Bleach girl, the movie Memories from Nobody, that she only exists in one movie. They did amazing with her. I always feel sad for her. Ozzy doesn't say that much, and she has a whole backstory based on a different character.
このまま忘れちゃいけないと思うから。僕は平和に役立つ発明でもするよ。ナディア、本を書き終えたら帰ってこいよ。今度はぐらつかない。
She does. We know that she does.
じゃあね。ああ。
And then they never made anything new for Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, for 30 more years. You know? Choking up a little bit. I'm not choking up because the movie's over. I'm choking up because I said that and my brain started realizing, oh god, that's true, and started getting sad because of it. That if I was watching this today, I could think, man, I can't wait for another 3 or 4 years when I come out with another thing. But this came out in 91. There's little to no chance that I'll ever see another Nadia thing ever again. And there is that one example, right? Oh god, what's the name of the girl who wears like leopard print bikini, where she's an alien and comes to Earth, and I'm gonna look up the lyrics to this later, and whatever video I do after this, I might bring it up if it's worth bringing up. The girl who has a leopard print bikini, she comes to Earth and through misunderstanding marries a guy, and then it's a whole about her getting angry when he hits on other girls. That one got made around this time or earlier, right? And then they did a whole remake of it. So, it's not impossible to think that at some point they could make it again. But I think in this day and age of overworked anime artists and whatnot, that one, they're just not going to put up the effort. And two, I think they're just going to work on new things rather than this. My precious trick star. So yeah, I get the sadness hits me that there'll never be anything new to see ever again. But sorry, the movie itself, not good. Not a good movie. I mean, I'm happy to see the figures of the characters I know rooting around, but I want to say 50% not them. The best part of this movie was the half an hour of a recap of the show. I know I kind of made fun of it when it was happening, but it did get me emotional when it was happening, and that was it. And my favorite character wasn't even here. Thank God my second favorite character had an arc, right? Now I'm a little bit sad that Fuzzy's dead. What is that? Is it just the Bible? I can't... Comments. Tell me in the comments what that said. What were those books? Oh, was that? Oh, sorry, I got it now. That was Nadia's book, indicating that she had written her books and she had come home to Jean. So it's indicating, I think, that we're in the 12 months ahead. A little bit of sadness, but at the same time, that doesn't make any sense. Because Fuzzy was never like, Nadia, write your book. It was Jean that was like, Nadia, write your book and come back. Fuzzy had no connection to that, so why would you leave your books I feel like the movie must have had as much trouble as the show had in getting made. Still, I'm sad that it's over. I'm sad that it's over more so because it means an end to this. Um, yeah. No, what was I saying? Favorite character does not appear. There was no Marie here. And I already said that's like minus a quarter of the points. If I was ranking out of 100, we're already down to 75. Second favorite character, Sanson. Gets his ass kicked by a robot. Sanson, the guy who kicked a robot's ass, who was powered by a truck behind it. So, these failures of robots somehow stronger than the mecha we saw him beat. But then he comes back and doubles down on his backstory of being a lanky kid who does the exercise stuff. And now he's wearing all the exercise stuff under his clothes. So, one, good callback. Two, good character. Beyond the whole them attacking Gene because they believe he did something bad, which made no sense. At least he also said sorry, Gene, like he acknowledged, hey, I'm not the one writing my character. Knocks him out. Uh, yeah. Uh, I mean, beyond that, this was just Astro Boy, and then. See, my problem is I don't know a lot of anime history, so I don't know if the ideas and concepts that I'm watching come from before a thing or after a thing. Confusingly, the show to me feels like it was from the 80s, and it's something that came out like 91 through 93. So the history of this and the animation style process just doesn't match up to me. Like, there's times during we're watching OG Gundam that feel like it's better animated than this, and that's separated by almost 20 years. So, I guess maybe that's the effect of the outsourcing to a Korean studio in the 90s or late 80s can get you. Well, I don't know. Because again, they had problems with that in the 70s too, or late 70s, early 80s. Who knows? Uh, I am disappointed that there's no Marie. She's the one that I have the most attachment to in the show. I'll let you know. I've got emotes being made for the Discord server. One of Sanson, one of Jean, one of Nadia, two of Marie, because again, favorite character. And then, of course, for our Sympho Gear character of the last 2 or 3 years winner, Chris Yukine, I've got two of her, I think, getting made. So by the time this comes out, they should already be on the server. So join the Discord server if you wanna see what those look like. Otherwise, I think I'm gonna wrap up here. There's not much more to talk about. Once again, if you're still here with me, remember the book. If you know where the book is, I'm not talking about the one at the cross. That one didn't make much sense to the whole narrative of the show. I'm sorry, the narrative of the story. The book that the president of Gainax wrote some years after World Conquest. Is it even possible? If there's an English translation out there, bring it to me. Let me know. I want to read it. Help. If you bring it to me, I'll do a review of the book. Just just to get it out there. Just more Nadia content. Otherwise, I have been Theta. This has been another stone-faced reaction. Next to last thing I'm doing for Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water. So join me again tomorrow for one last thing before we close the book. And I'm just gonna get sad about this. I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?